Balls Mahoney was not built to be a hero, he was built to survive pain. In the violent underground world of ECW, Balls Mahoney became a symbol of brutality, chaos, and fearlessness. Chairs, tables, barbed wire, nothing scared him. Fans cheered as he destroyed his body night after night. But on April 12, 2016, Balls Mahoney was found dead at just 44 years old. The official reports mentioned complications from surgery and drug toxicity, but the full truth felt buried beneath years of punishment and neglect. How does a man who survived the most extreme matches in wrestling history die quietly in a hospital room? Was Balls Mahoney's death natural, or was it the final consequence of a life built on pain? Tonight, we uncover the unnatural and mysterious death of Balls Mahoney. Jonathan Rechner was born on September 11, 1972, in Nutley, New Jersey. Long before the world knew him as Balls Mahoney, he was a quiet but intense individual drawn to the raw aggression of professional wrestling. Unlike traditional wrestlers who focused on athleticism and finesse, Jonathan was fascinated by endurance, how much pain a human body could take and still stand. When he entered the independent wrestling scene, he quickly earned a reputation for being fearless. By the time he joined Extreme Championship Wrestling, he had found the perfect environment for his dangerous style. ECW was not about safety. It was about shock, violence, and pushing limits. And Balls Mahoney fit in perfectly. In ECW, Balls Mahoney became legendary for his brutal, hardcore matches. He absorbed unprotected chair shots to the head, falls onto concrete, and repeated blows that would permanently damage his body. At the time, there were no concussion protocols, no long-term medical oversight, and no concern for life after wrestling. Pain was entertainment, and Balls Mahoney delivered it willingly. Fans loved him because he never quit, but behind the scenes, his body was breaking down rapidly. Chronic injuries, nerve damage, and constant pain became his everyday reality. The damage wasn't just physical, it was neurological, silent, and irreversible. To keep performing, Balls Mahoney relied heavily on prescription painkillers. What began as pain management slowly turned into dependency. Years of abuse weakened his organs, damaged his immune system, and altered his mental health. Friends later recalled that Jonathan lived in constant pain, rarely sleeping, and struggling with depression. Wrestling was not just his career, it was his identity. Without it, he felt lost. Even after ECW closed and his mainstream exposure faded, Balls Mahoney continued wrestling on the independent circuit, enduring punishment his body could no longer handle. After ECW's collapse, Balls Mahoney never truly slowed down. Independent wrestling kept him afloat financially, but offered no health care, no long-term support, and no protection. Years of extreme damage caught up with him. His hips deteriorated, his joints failed, and walking became painful. Doctors eventually recommended hip replacement surgery, a procedure that symbolized how much wrestling had taken from him. His body, once feared in the ring, was now fragile and failing. In April 2016, Balls Mahoney underwent hip replacement surgery. Initially, the procedure appeared successful, but complications soon followed. Reports later indicated that he suffered from an infection and internal issues, combined with drug toxicity in his system. On April 12, 2016, Balls Mahoney passed away at the age of 44. Balls Mahoney didn't simply die because of surgery, he died because his body had been abused for decades without protection. Years of chair shots to the head, untreated concussions, substance dependence, and lack of medical care created a ticking time bomb. His death was ruled non-criminal, but it was unnatural in every meaningful way. He survived violence that no human body should endure, only to be destroyed slowly by its long-term effects. Balls Mahoney is remembered as one of the toughest men to ever step into a wrestling ring. Fans admired his fearlessness, but his life exposes wrestling's darkest truth. Entertainment built on pain comes with devastating consequences. His story is not about weakness. It is about sacrifice taken too far, without safeguards, without care, and without a future plan. Balls Mahoney lived for the roar of the crowd and died paying the price for it. His death may not have been sudden or mysterious in the traditional sense, but it was unnatural, shaped by years of abuse, neglect, and silence. Remembering Balls Mahoney means acknowledging the real cost of hardcore wrestling and ensuring that future generations are not forced to suffer the same fate.